Hey, welcome to my channel. So today I just want to talk about sensory sensitivity on the autism spectrum. So we all have our senses. Some people say we have more than 5, but I'm just going to talk about the 5 that we all learn at school: sight, sound, smell, touch, taste. Sight, sound, smell, touch, taste. So I'll talk about each of them and how they affect my ability and potentially other people's ability who are on the autistic spectrum to receive information, to receive input when our senses kind of block it. So you can have sensory seeking things that are really enjoyable for an autistic person, but you can also have stimuli avoidance, which is things that are just so overwhelming for us and give us sensory overload. So let's talk about the first one, taste. So my examples of things that I really struggle with when it comes to my taste buds is it took me forever to find a toothpaste that I can actually tolerate. Such a small thing, but the taste, the minty, pepperminty or whatever flavour it is so overpowering that it makes brushing my teeth such a chore and like disgusting taste in my mouth. And I have now been able to find a toothpaste that I can actually tolerate and I actually enjoy, which has been a really hard struggle for me. And I didn't know it was something that it was a common trait for people to dislike brushing their teeth so much because of the sensory overload of the taste and the bristles, blah blah blah. So I kind of feel, oh right, this is okay that I don't like this, but let's find a way of making brushing my teeth more pleasurable because it is something I have to do. Another taste thing is like some autistic people have safe foods. I have learned that I have safe foods. I never thought I did have safe foods, but as I've become older, I guess when you try something for the first time and you really like it, it could quite easily become a safe food. So my safe foods might change, but currently I have this cereal that I really like. I talked about it in my another video that I had made. I have it every morning, and I can have a day without having my cereal and just eat something else instead. But it's weird because the rest of the day I just feel hungry, even if I'm satisfied with what I've eaten. I still have that like, oh, I'm missing something, I'm still hungry feeling throughout the whole day. Sometimes I'll have my cereal 2 or 3 times a day, just because it makes me feel, I don't know what it makes me feel, but I like it. It's comforting, it's reassuring. It always tastes the same, the texture's the same, the smell's the same, the consistency doesn't change. And I have the same thing with crackers. It's just safe. They don't change. So, you know, when someone has a safe food and they struggle to get it into a supermarket, that can be really overwhelming for them. So like when COVID hit and everyone was on lockdown, certain products were not at our fingertips, and I think that would have been really hard for some people to not be able to get hold of a certain item of food that would be really safe for them. Talking about food, I like a cup of tea. I'm not like obsessed, I don't have tea every day, but if I have a cup of tea I really enjoy it until it's finished, and then the taste that is left in my mouth is horrible. I really don't like the taste after a drink of tea. So that might be the same for other autistic people. Like it's something they eat, they really enjoy until they finish it, and then it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. Taste can also be associated with something that we've smelt that then resonates on our taste buds. So for me that's, you know, the smell of stale cigarettes. If I hug someone and they're a smoker and then I kind of taste that taste of cigarettes off them, or even if I walk past someone and I smell the cigarettes, I can then taste it in my mouth. And I'm not a smoker, so for me it's just a disgusting experience for me. Moving on to smell. So there's lots of things. I have a really, really strong sense of smell. I can smell when it's raining and like the pavement is really strong. Again, like the whole aftershave thing, like I just mentioned, but if I walk past someone and they've got strong aftershave or perfume, makes me want to be sick. It's so overwhelming for me. It's not enjoyable. Like if I'm going for a walk and I walk past a public bin, it doesn't matter how old the stuff in the bin is, I just can't breathe. I have to hold my breath every time I walk past a public bin. If I go into someone's house, everyone's house has got an associated smell attached to it. If you blindfolded me and I had no sense of direction, you took me to someone's house that I knew, I would automatically know whose house I am in, simply just because of how it smells. Every house has a different smell. So yeah, there's certain things that are overwhelming for my sense of smell. And then some things that are really enjoyable, like I love the smell of cinnamon, I love the smell of roses, I love the smell of fresh baked bread, but who doesn't love the smell of fresh baked bread, right? Okay, so moving on, touch. For an autistic person, touch can be really overbearing. Some people really hate to be touched, and then other people's opinion is that like they like to be touched, but it has to be on their terms. I think that's me. Like I am quite a huggy person with people that I know and trust and love, but I don't like hug everyone. But I also want to be in control of the hug and how long it is and how hard it is, which is weird. But you know, bear hugs is something that I find really, really amazing, but only by my husband, not by anyone else. I have a weighted blanket that helps me with my sense of touch. It like centers me and grounds me. So just the weight of something heavy on top is really good. But again, I have to be in control of it. If you like shoved a duvet on top of me and pinned me down, I would have a panic attack. I wouldn't like that at all. So it really is about me being in control of the touch. Some people really like fidget toys, and that's just the sensation of something in your hand, something you can feel, play with, fiddle with. Another one is fabrics. Fabric can be quite a high stimuli for some people. Like I have a friend who hates, is it felt and velvet? Her skin crawls if she touches these kind of textures. Yet, like she might love something like silk or cotton. So you know, some things that we touch have an adverse reaction to us, and our skin crawls and our hairs stand up on end. And then other fabrics can make us feel really calm and in control. And I really love soft things. I'm really attracted to touching soft things whenever I go into shops. I'm always touching everything. Talking about clothes, like fabric. So clothes labels on clothes can be really irritating. So I'm not bothered by most labels, but there's quite a lot of my clothes that I've had to cut the labels off because they just irritate me. I can feel them the whole day, and it's just like, it's very distracting, and it's not very nice on the skin. So some people can be really like, oh, I hate labels, need to cut them all off, and that's just how they go about it. Some people hate socks, and I don't know if it's like the restriction on their feet or whatever it is, but some autistic people cannot wear socks on their feet. Moving on to sound. So I learned this really interesting thing that I'm not sure if it's legit, if it's real or not, but I read it somewhere. So autistic people can hear sounds many decibels above what is the norm. That makes complete sense to me because I feel like I hear everything all at once, and I think that can be true for most autistic people, that they hear every element of sound around them, and if you like kind of quiet your mind, you can start tuning into like 100 different things. So I can hear light bulbs. I don't know if that's a thing that everyone can do, but I think it's because I'm autistic that I can hear light bulbs. They have like a electricity noise attached to them. I don't know how to describe it. The fire alarm at work, if that goes off, that is a hugely overstimulating thing for me. I mean, nobody enjoys a fire alarm, right? Or a school bell or a loud noise like that, but it just feels deafening, like someone's turned the volume up in my brain like 100, and it's just not nice. Yeah, so I can't really process anything if there's a really, really loud noise around me. Some people are really frightened by fireworks or dog barking, and it's a noise that's really piercing to them, and they can just kind of shudder and feel really afraid. So what have we not had? Sight. Right, so for some autistic people, like the fluorescent lights that you get in workplaces or colleges or school or supermarkets, they can be really hard and triggering on the eyes. They're very bright and abrasive, so fluorescent lights can be quite a hard thing for some people to have. I don't like flashing lights, so you know those little fairy lights that you get on Christmas trees or people have decorated around walls and stuff. If they're flashing, I do not like it. It has to be still mode or really soft slow mode, and it's kind of like, I guess, how an epileptic person would feel with seeing flashing lights. It sends signals to their brain that they're like, whoa, what's happening? There's too much input here. Yeah, it's just very distracting to me, and it's an irritating distraction. Another thing with sight is if you go into an environment and it's really cluttered, or there's just lots going on, lots of colour, lots of textile, lots of furniture, even lots of people in an environment. If an environment is very busy and cluttered, it's very overwhelming. You can't kind of process where you want to go, what you want to do, because you're stuck noticing like every detail in your environment. So another thing with sight is eye contact. So a lot of autistic people might struggle with eye contact, and a lot of people might hide that they're bad at eye contact or struggle with it. I have been brought up that eye contact is just one of those rules that you do, that when you're speaking to someone you give them lots of eye contact, it's polite, it's well mannered. So it's been drilled into me that that's what you do, that's socially acceptable, but it's really uncomfortable. And someone once described it, I don't know if it was a podcast I was listening to or what, but they described it as it's a really intimate act and it's almost like kissing someone. And I was like, oh, that's strange. But then when I gave it a thought, I was like, they're so right. When you look at someone, when you really look into their eyes, you have their whole attention. I don't know, I'm not explaining it as well as this person did, but it did make me think, and I was like, actually, it is a very intimate thing to give eye contact. And I give a lot of eye contact, but inside I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do this. This is quite exhausting, because I'm constantly thinking, am I giving enough eye contact? Am I giving too much contact? Am I staring? Am I blinking? You know, there's a lot. But eye contact can be extremely difficult for some people, and it's quite sensory overload for them. So I think that's done all of the senses. So yeah, sensory overload is quite a thing for autistic people, and if they are overwhelmed, they might need to stim, they might need to remove themselves, they might just need to do something that makes them happy. So, you know, they are sensory seeking. I sensory seek for the sound of a blackbird singing because it's soothing. I sensory seek for tuning on to classical music. I touch some soft fabric. I sit under my weighted blanket. You know, there's lots of sensory seeking things that help us to regulate and help us to just process all the information that's going on around us. But I think that's a little insight into for you to kind of see actually the senses that we can tap into and kind of only receive the information that we want to receive. For an autistic person, that's really hard. So thanks for watching and being with me today. I hope you have a really good day. Bye.